So guys, after our wet adventure the day before, the sun started shining the next day, for a little bit, and as much as we loved our spot in Tennessee, it was time for us to keep moving on. The next national park we'd be heading to was Congaree in South Carolina. It was a mountainous trek getting over to Congaree. We were kind of dodging around the Appalachians. And coming down the pass, going back towards the ocean side, we were met with more rain and fog. The RV campground we found here was a nice one. It was very busy, and it did have sections for full-timers, but it had nice bathroom shower facilities, it had laundry, and the price was terrific. We met a few people with their own cool projects. The red bus you see on the far side of us is a custom conversion our site neighbor did himself. Now, we were up against a national day of mourning taking place, so we had to hustle over to the national park so we could work on our junior ranger stuff, as it risked being closed for a few of the days we were there. I didn't know what to expect from this national park. My only visions of Carolina were movies where there was a whole bunch of swampland. The area of the park we were in was all on a raised boardwalk. It was pretty tame at first. Weren't quite sure why you needed the boardwalk. It was pretty muddy down there, but no extra water, just a lot of forest around you. But as you got deeper and deeper into the forest, it all made sense. You would only be able to make it in this far if you had some serious muck boots on. And it just got deeper and deeper as we went. It was a kind of nice bonus in this national park that Tacoma got to come with us on the boardwalk. So far the places we had been didn't have a lot of dog-friendly trails. The boardwalk started well above the forest or swamp floor, and then as you got further in it descended, and it really took you down to make you feel like you were that much closer to the forest rather than sort of raised above it. And then as we walked on, it rapidly changed from a forest with a few swampy areas to a swamp with a few foresty areas. Once we were deep enough in, and I let the kids run ahead a little bit, it really was a very immersive experience standing in the middle of the forest with the sounds of the swamp and the birds all around. Even though it's the middle of winter, this area is teeming with life. There was lots to see peering over the edges of the boardwalks, beyond just the forest. Deer, hawks, snakes, fish. Now the hike is actually a full loop, which is really convenient. In our case, about a half mile of the hike was flooded out. The flooded areas were very wadeable, but according to the rules, if an area was flooded, it was considered closed. So we stayed out of those areas to avoid disrupting them. Big trees that fell down and had to be cut out of the way were just cut into rolls and then left to kind of decompose in the swamp. They were impressively buoyant. It truly felt like they could hold my weight if I was running over them. And while we did see a few full-grown snakes on some logs and blending into the leaves on the ground, the most fun was finding a few baby snakes that were trying to make their way across the trail as well. So that was fun for the boys to get a very close-up look. There were endless amounts of moss, mushrooms, lichen, and cool fungal formations. And this adult snake, just a few feet off the trail, had some seriously awesome camouflage blending into those leaves.
Can you see him, Hunter? Come on over to me if you can't see him.
He's right down. I think he's camouflaging.
And a little lizard paused for us on the way out right as my battery died. The oldest trees in the park had grown extremely wide, had some serious root systems to keep them standing in the very thick mud, and they had shed most of their low branches in favor for just a few branches up high. At the farthest point of the loop, there is a slight jut-off that goes to a lookout, where you can go and hang out on the main body of water. It is a lake that I'm forgetting the name of at the moment. And all the water in the national park sort of flows over that land and into this main lake and then continues on its way into a river. We had a blast in Congaree National Park. Even in the middle of winter, it is vibrant and lively. So much to do and see, and nature really came out for us that day. I gotta say, I'm really glad we came out and did it in the middle of winter. They have their own mosquitometer there, and luckily we were at the lowest end. In the summer, I imagine it truly is a war zone. Okay, guys, that's our adventure in Congaree National Park. Coming up next, we keep heading south, heading for the national parks down in Florida, Biscayne, and Everglades. Thanks for keeping up with us, and we will chat with you tomorrow.